try and do a little bit of that then. So, Jen, tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your organization.
My organization is called the Zero Negative Foundation, and I started it in 2017. I had went through a stage 4 triple negative breast cancer diagnosis, and I originally thought I was going to die, and I knew that
Mm,
if I was only going to live a couple more years, I really wanted to be happy and grateful and as happy as I could be for those last couple years. And I also believed that how I looked at cancer was going to either make me happy or make me really
hmm.
miserable. So I looked at cancer as a blessing.
Yeah,
Sorry about my little pup in the
that's
background.
okay.
I looked at cancer as coming to save my life, as coming to like teach me lessons and bring me wisdom and just make me a better person. And that's exactly what happened. And I was cancer free in 4 months. And I decided that I had to share this realization with
Hmm.
everybody going through cancer or anyone going through a life challenge because really was about how I looked at it. And I learned so many messages in just loving what you're going through and believing in it and trusting in it. And I also trusted my team of doctors at UCLA. I was
Hmm.
learning so many lessons about self love and healing trauma, and that cancer was sort of energy in my body that needed healing.
Right.
And so I decided to start a foundation and spread love through accessories that give back to cancer research. And I have a partner who's also a breast cancer survivor. And we basically share our stories that are very different. But our main thing now is to send love and support to cancer patients going through their treatment. We put together tote bags with essential items that will get them through treatment and also kind of inspire them to look for the great gratitude things. Like, what are they
Hmm.
grateful for going
Hmm.
through a really hard situation? Are you grateful for your family? You're grateful for your friends. You're grateful for feeling good today because a week ago I had chemotherapy and now I don't feel so sick. So I'm grateful for that. So there's always a way to find uh, a thing to be grateful for. And there's always a way to find a thing to be really upset about. So I learned that you just kind of have to choose your mindset and it's a
That's
practice.
that's
But it
amazing.
works. And so I really, yeah, hope to, and it also changes the energy in your body when you feel really miserable
Absolutely.
and like it seems like everything doesn't work out. But if you're feeling
Hmm.
happy and you look at the world differently and then things come to you that also make you happier because you're actually vibrating in a happy and grateful way.
Yeah,
So I'm
they
excited just to be on these Zooms with you and just talk about what it's the difference of being happy and grateful and the difference of not being happy and grateful because I wasn't happy and grateful when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I was actually in a really depressed state in my life and it changed everything.
What was
So,
that moment? Because people say when you come to that realization, they usually remember that, like the tipping point or that exact moment when you change your
yeah.
interpretation of the whole thing.
The moment was when I met my oncologist at UCLA. It was the third interview that I had. And like I said, I was really depressed. I was trying to have a
Hmm.
baby with my husband. I was going through a lot of rounds of IVF and it wasn't working. And I thought my purpose to be a mom was not being fulfilled. And so the universe slash, you know, whatever was trying to get rid of me through cancer because I wasn't going to fulfill my purpose because I always believe like everyone has a purpose. And so when I learned in that oncologist meeting that if I had gotten pregnant when I had wanted to, the pregnancy would have killed me. And so the universe was actually saving my life and not killing me. So in that exact moment, I had chills. I saw my entire life go through me that everything was working out the way it was supposed to. And all the mistakes that I thought
Mm.
were so stupid and I was so hard on myself, I saw them as blessings. And that made me see cancer as a blessing. So that's exactly the turning point for me.
I'm so sorry. It was my, it was my, yeah, it was my daughter. But
That was like the key moment of my
I
entire life. You
know, I
walked out on
know, I
me.
know. Like, I didn't know what to
That's like
do.
the turning point. If you're watching a movie, that was the turning point in my entire life. So,
Oh, man, that key.
How old's your daughter?
First of all, it's like 2:40. She's not supposed to be back until 4 p.m. What the heck?
How old's your daughter?
She's 16. And I was like trying to text her, back door, please. But she wasn't hearing it anyhow. So let's do it again. Just that question, because I would really love to hear it. I know that I heard about that first part, but that key moment where you changed your interpretation of the reality, and now my dog is barking.
no, the key moment, I'll make it short, is that I thought I was being punished by the universe because I wasn't getting pregnant and all my dreams to have a family were not being
Yeah.
fulfilled. So I thought there was
Yeah.
something wrong with me. So the key moment was realizing that if I had gotten pregnant, that pregnancy would have killed me. So everything that was happening was saving my life. And it was for me to stay alive, and cancer was then possibly saving my life. Because if that situation was so different than what I had framed before, it was so different. So I just like looked at like life as everything is working out for me. So stage 4 cancer must be working out for me. So I must have to believe this is going to be, happy ending. And from that moment on, I kind of trusted that it would be. And at the same time, knowing I had stage 4 cancer, I still didn't know for sure if I was going to live. So I also knew I wanted to be happy the entire time I was going through treatment. And it was just
Yeah.
about believing that everything was, chemo was saving my life. It wasn't poisoning me. I was, so grateful for chemotherapy. I was so grateful for all my surgeries. I was so grateful for my team of doctors. I was so grateful for everything that would be considered like a horrible situation. But to me, I was like really grateful. So it's finding the gratitude in all of our challenges. And every day is going to bring us some challenges, but if we can kind of look at it in a positive way and not a negative way, we
Mhm.
see that life's always working out.
Oh
And
my God.
that was a
That
big lesson.
that seems like that's what everyone says. People who ever overcame their illnesses or their depression or anxiety, it's like completely turning around your interpretation and
Yeah,
seeing it from a completely the opposite side of things and
I mean,
being positive.
there's so many chances that I could have looked at everything very negatively. Like for
Absolutely,
example,
yeah.
I had a tumor that was growing really quickly, and my
Mhm.
mammogram didn't catch it. My doctor, my gynecologist didn't catch it. He should have been telling me to get ultrasounds. He didn't. And so I could have like
Mhm.
focused on all the things that went wrong. And, I wouldn't have had a stage 4 diagnosis, but I looked at it like, no, stage 4 was supposed to happen because my story means so much more, and my story is supposed to affect other people. So I looked at stage 4 as a blessing. It was just everything was the way it should be. And that's kind of how I look at everything now. Even, when I am upset, I kind of look at this like as something that's supposed to teach me something. And so how it's about a choice. How do we show up to our challenges and believe in them, and just
That's
believe that this
incredible.
is exactly supposed to happen. And even if it's not supposed to happen, it still makes me feel better to believe that it is supposed to happen. So it's like you're
Exactly
working with
that.
your mindset. And
Yeah.
I knew that's what I needed to believe to really put myself in it.
Well, that's exactly what we have though, right? The power of mind.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
love. Love really heals. And everything comes from self-love. And I didn't love myself before.
Yeah.
So I needed that transformation.
I I've already like seen your video. I've already read your article. So I knew this story, but it's entirely different hearing it directly from you. It's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. That's incredible. Because this is what we want to tell everyone. This is the message we want to give
That
to everyone.
exactly, because I was just like everybody else. And I just feel like I
Yeah.
figured out something and that everybody
And
can
it's
figure
just
it out if they want to.
and it's not something that's so difficult. I mean, it can be difficult, but if you really want to do this, all you need to do is to see everything from the positive side of things.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Wow.
there's tools to work on. I had a gratitude journal. I wrote everything down,
Yeah.
even if like I was upset. I still like
Yeah.
acknowledged being upset, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like you just let it flow as opposed to pushing it down and not feeling it. Like I've learned to appreciate all feelings, even
Hmm.
crying, even being angry, because it's all part of being a human being. And the
Absolutely.
opposite of not being angry is either being numb, being depressed,
Yeah.
or not being alive.
Yeah.
So like we get to experience all these things.
Yeah.
And the more we feel it, the more it's not going to really take over. It's just kind of like it's an energy thing. You know,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah. A lot of
just
people just don't
emotion.
realize how powerful they are. They just feel like the thoughts are controlling them or the feelings are controlling them, the illnesses are controlling them. They just don't realize how much power they have over all of those.
Yeah. And like even with cancer, I remember like feeling my tumor dissolve. Like I would talk to my tumor, I would thank it for coming and teaching me, these lessons, and I
Yeah.
felt it like, okay, go away. And I realized like, oh my God, I'm learning these lessons so fast. Cancer is like, okay, I'm done. You you were a quick study.
Yeah.
So
And I
it
hear
really
I've heard
is
of
so
that too.
powerful to like not
Absolutely.
fight what's happening, just to
Yeah.
allow it to
Uh,
exist, allow it to be there, and send it love, send it, you know,
and
gratitude.
and we were born like that, but somehow we
Yeah.
built up so many habits and beliefs and layers of craziness. And you were
Yeah.
able to just peel them all off in that short 4 months. That's incredible. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I believe everyone
I'm
can do
I
really,
it.
love it.
I'm really happy that the two of you are on board with this whole thing because I really feel like I'm only as good as the people I surround myself around.
Mhm.
And I'm
She's
really glad.
incredible. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I met you and able to ah, it's
Yeah,
like,
Well, I feel you kind of, yeah, resonate because you went through a similar thing in your journey. So,
yeah,
and when you figure it out, you want everyone to know. You want other people to
oh,
figure
for
out how to be
sure.
happy and love, because the
Yeah.
world would be so much nicer if everyone was kinder and more loving and happier. We wouldn't be, seeing how we
if
are at
this
this
could take
moment.
them, so they're not watching the news. 'Cause
Ugh, I
the
don't watch
news
the
is,
news
I mean,
anymore.
it's very depressing. I mean,
Ugh,
I
so
know we
depressing.
should stay up on what's going on, but it's very depressing. So,
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
I have some clients who watch the news and they're asking me like, how can I feel better when the whole world is doing this and there's so much wrong with it? I'm like, I don't watch news.
yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
to tell you.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's a choice we all make, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we all make choices in our lives, and sometimes you think they're the right choice, but maybe watching the news is not the best choice.
Yeah, it's like
Well, it's
I
not
like
empowering. It's not empowering because it really is frustrating sometimes to see what's happening and not
yeah,
have any like
You can't do
control or
anything
how to
about
make
it.
it
yeah,
better.
for sure.
It's
But
like
Yeah.
the three of
but
us can do
I've
something
learned,
about this.
well,
Right?
I've learned that the way to help is just to keep your light on and not go dark like you can so
Yeah.
easily get depressed and get down. Like you got to keep kind of sharing these principles and,
Yeah.
you know, help as many people to be happy and
Oh,
grateful.
for sure. Yeah. I
And
mean,
then
it's
you know, you believe like it's still happening for a reason. You know, I still have to go back to my initial mindset. You
yeah,
know, this is teaching us
definitely.
how sad a lot of people are and how angry and how
Oh, I know.
lost
Yeah.
people are. So, you know, we
Yeah.
need to love more, love
Yeah.
harder.
It's like what I love what Mother Teresa said. She was saying she would never go to anti-war protest, but she will always go to the pro-peace
Yeah,
protest or whatever. She said you could never go against what you don't like. You need to go for what you love or what you want. And it totally
exactly.
makes sense.
I
Mm,
always go back to Gandhi's phrase, be the change you want to see. That's the only way we get change. Like you can't point the fingers and say you change and then I'll change. You have to change, period.
exactly.
And then, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
anyway,